Okay, welcome back to Daily Driven Alpha. Been a while since we've put a post up, but we've been building and thought we'd give you a quick update on where we're at. So, brake lines and fuel lines are in. Booster's been mocked up, it's just sitting there loosely at the moment, just to make sure that we've got things lined up. Idler arms put in, and those of you who always wondered what this little bracket's for, it's for the speedo cable. It's a guide to hold the speedo cable as it goes down underneath there past the heat shield. Grommets are in, accelerator mechanism is in, and we've just cleaned up the fuel pressure and filter assembly there, put that in. So as you can see, some of the grommets in the engine bay, and we've got an old brake fluid container there just to mock it up. We're ordering a new one, even though they're $70 odd each, but still. Right, what else have we done? So we've put the front suspension in. Some of the fittings here are still loose because we're waiting to get the Berman steering box in, but as you can see, springs are in, springs compressed, we've got the lines waiting. Actually just dropped the calipers off yesterday. We're rebuilding the original ATE calipers here, and rather than doing them ourselves, I've taken them to a local supplier or a machine shop, and they're going to charge me about the same as it would be to buy them from Classic Alfa, and the ones from Classic Alfa are reproductions. These are the originals, so I'd rather spend the money locally and have it done professionally, even though we could do it ourselves. Don't muck around with brakes, get them done properly. So everything else is in. Obviously we're still waiting to put sway bars and the like in, but we're not going to do anything until we get the engine in. And yes, this is the deeper spring pan on the passenger side. So there's plenty of forums that talk about why this one spring pan's deeper than the other. I don't want to get into it. I'm just making sure that I put it back faithfully. Okay, right, where are we at down here? We've put in, as you can see, there's a guide. We've put these in, and we've also put in a guide underneath here. Often these are missing. These bump stops are smaller than the originals. The originals are a bit longer, but that's the distance they are nowadays. This canvas strap's gone in. We've put the trailing arms, shock absorbers in. As you can see, the trunnion bar, the T-bar, that's in, and that's waiting for what we're doing next. I've put the spare wheel in just to put a bit of counterbalance in for the weight in the front end. I've pulled the diff out. I've had this out. We refurbished this over a year ago and test drove it in my daily driver, so the diff's good. Just had to pull it out, clean it up, and you'll see a bit of red grease there. We've put just put a bit of rubber grease into the rubbers before they go on, and that's cleaned up, ready to go. So happy days. Pallet jack is very handy because we'll be able to skate that in underneath the back of the car, lift it up somewhat, so less of a manual handling exercise for us. So that'll go in, and then we've pretty much got a lot of the running gear done, and I'll put one half of the tail shaft in possibly today as well, if it makes sense. Then we can actually put this thing back down on its wheels, which will be helpful for us. I don't like working on it just on jack stands, even though we've got some weight in it. It's just one of those things. It's you have to be mindful of how much force you put on when you're on the jack stands. You know, even though I've got a bit of weight, you know, you can see this thing move. It wobbles around, so you need to be very careful when you're doing it. Just a tip, I went to put the inner splash panels on, and then I remembered, that's right, we need to put the badges on first, because they clip in at the back there before we do this. So when you're going to put stuff on, even though you've got it in front of you and you think, oh, I could get that little job done, just think about the logic and the sequence. Make sure that you're not having to pull things back out again. So that's a fairly quick update of where we're at with the vehicle, and it's coming along really nicely. Wiring harness will tackle next, and we'll start ordering a few other little parts that we need. We've got the headlining kit. I don't want to put that in just yet. I think we'll get the harness in first, and then we'll start looking at some of the other trim pieces, but steady as she goes. There's some door furniture still to go in here that we've still got to put the brackets in, and then we've also got to look at putting in some sound deadening on the interior. So some of that'll happen first, and I guess what we'll do is we'll get a whole bunch done first before we give you another update. Otherwise you're seeing, you know, just little piecemeal bits and bobs. It's not very interesting. So yeah, good. Car's coming along nicely. We're pretty happy. Mission for today, get that diff in, get the rear end in, get it balanced with a bit of weight, and happy days, we'll put it on its wheels. Hope your projects are going well, and happy to receive comments. Keep them respectful. Please like, subscribe, share them with others, and look forward to talking to you on the next update. Bye for now.